Hello, my name is Thomas Sheffield, and I'll be your facilitator for this information session. I'm actually the director of the Nashville Opportunity Fund, and I'm so excited that you decided to see what's available and hopefully take advantage of what's available for you. For the next half hour, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the Nashville Small Business Recovery Fund, established by Metro Council and the Mayor's Office of Economic and Community Development to help your businesses refuel so you can stay or get on the right track. We'll use our time as follows. First, we're going to give you an overview of the program: why, who, what, when, where, and how. Secondly, we'll take you through a mini workshop to help you make a key decision for your application plan. Are you going to apply for a grant or a loan? This is important because you can't apply for both. So we want to give you the guidance to make the best decision for your business. Third, we'll take you through the two different application processes for the loan and for the grant. We want you to leave here today with your plan to apply. You'll know if you are eligible or not and the types of small businesses that are eligible. And you'll also know the amount a business with your revenue can get with a loan or with a grant. You'll leave knowing if you plan to apply for a grant or for a loan, or at least you know how to decide. You'll leave knowing where you can get help and what additional questions you need to get help in answering. You'll leave knowing what documents you have to have and what documents you'll need, and you will leave with some key dates marked on your calendar. Those are our goals for today. Mayor John Cooper and Metro Council established a fund to help Davidson County small business refuel so they can stay or get back on track. Now, on behalf of Metro government, Pathway Lending will administer the $18 million. The Nashville Small Business Recovery Fund was established February 1st when Metro Council authorized the allocation of American Rescue Plan Act dollars. Davidson County small businesses with a 2021 annual revenue between $10,000 and $1 million and up to 50 full-time employees are eligible with the fiscal year ending on or before December 31st. Metro will allocate $2 million to nonprofit partners to assist with the rollout. The $18 million will fund a $9 million grant program to repayment with no repayment required, and a $9 million loan program with the repayment required. Other than repayment, the key difference comes in the amount of small businesses can qualify to receive. So applicants can only get a grant or a loan, not both. Again, you can either get a grant or a loan, but will not be able to get both. So the difference, there are some differences in the max amounts that you can receive. So if your 2021 revenue was 25,000 or below, you'll want to go for a grant since you can only borrow less than the max grant amount. The interest rate on the loan is only 2%. It's a fixed interest rate with a 1.5% closing fee. Applications open on June 29th and grant applications close on July 31st. So we want you to hurry up and get those grant apps in. Loan applications close once the loan funds have fully been committed. Davidson County is where eligible businesses must have a location doing business in Davidson County. It excludes businesses that are part of a chain headquartered outside the county and those only particularly owned locally. Eligible small businesses will apply through Pathway Lending's website, pathwaylending.org. There are going to be separate applications and processes for the grants and the loan programs. That's why this information is so critical, because we'll give you guidance to make your own decision and your plan about which way to go. If you've decided to apply for the grant, you'll need to move quickly because the application window is open only for 30 days. Please note, these documents pertain to the grant and the tax return will be the easiest way to complete the application. Loan applications will need tax returns for 2 years, a county business license or registration, state registration certificate of existence, and an unexpired government ID, but will not need third party applicant authorization and not a W 9. If you don't have your county business license or state registration certificate of existence, they are easy to get, and please start now. Now, the grant application guide is a tool for grant applicants to get familiar with application questions prior to applying and as a reference document as you complete the application. Find it in the NSBRF section of Pathway Lending's website at pathwaylending.org. The key to decide if you will apply for a grant is that you don't have to repay. If it's a loan, you do have to repay with a low interest rate. The next few slides will provide you some guidance, easy rules of thumb, and where to find tutorials for more detailed analysis to help make your decision and plan accordingly. If your answer is no to any of the first three questions, you should go for the grant. If your answer is yes to any of question 4 to 6, your business may benefit from a low interest loan. And you may want to consider additional analysis and available assistance or coaching for that to make your decision. Please note that on the top of the table, there's a difference in the grant and loan amounts available for each revenue range. On the second table, note the total cost of the loan available for each revenue range. Part of the total cost of the loan is closing costs. There are differences with the required documents. The grant and loan programs will require some common documents and some that are unique to each program. Both will require different online applications. Generally speaking, the loan application will ask for more in-depth information and knowledge of business finances. On the loan, if you got an extension on your deadline to file the 2021 taxes, you'll need to do that and provide them in order for us to consider your loan application complete. Now, we want to make it as simple as possible for small businesses to apply for a grant. In that spirit, we also want grant applicants to be able to get the maximum grant award available. Grant applications only need to submit eligible expenses and qualifying documents up to the maximum grant amount for their range, for their revenue range. So we recommend starting with your largest expenses first. A note on owner's compensation. You'll have to calculate this number and you'll find a link to detailed tutorial that walks you through the steps on the NSBRF section of pathwaylending.org. Are you looking to make a significant investment? Do you need technology, equipment, a vehicle, or more inventory, or perhaps leasehold improvements? It is in the best financial interest of your business to get a loan if you can repay it. That's your business. That is, your business generates at least enough cash to cover the monthly loan payment. You should also have cash in reserves to cover monthly payments just in case. What lenders generally look at is something called debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR. Those sound like big words, but in simple terms, it looks like at the relationship between your total revenue, operating expenses, and debt service or debt obligations, i.e., your monthly loan repayment. Specifically, it will look at how much of your net operating income, that is revenue, after you take out operating expenses, goes to cover monthly loan payments. For businesses that want to learn how to really understand how to calculate the amount of the loan that they can afford, You'll find a link to the detailed tutorial that walks you through the steps, as well as a worksheet with built-in formulas to do the calculations for you on the NSBRF section of the pathwaylending.org website. Grant applications open June 29th and close July 31st. Loan applications will remain open until the $9 million is fully committed. Now, you must decide first if you'll apply for the grant or loan, and remember, you can't get them both. If you decide to apply for the grant, it's a first come, first serve, so you want to move quickly and seek help where you need it. So it's helpful to take a step back and think about what the application says in simplest terms. All you're doing is stating the amount of the grant you'd like to receive. We assume here it's the maximum award amount for your revenue range. And then you're submitting the documentation to support the request. With that documentation, you're showing three things. First, you have a small business in Davidson County and the business exists and it's open. Secondly, your business revenues fall within the range that matches the amount of the award you're requesting for 2021. Whether your business follows the calendar year or fiscal year, that's the year ending on or before December 31st, 2021. Third, your business incurred expenses in eligible categories equal to or more than the amount of your request in a period of time that COVID impacts and continued after assistance programs were available. Now, before you can proceed to the application, you must complete two pre-application sections, eligibility and third-party authorization. Now, first, we're going to talk about the eligibility pre-application section. This is not the application. You're not applying. You're just answering some questions so that the system knows that you're eligible to apply and that your business meets all the criteria established by Metro. If your business is eligible, this means reviewers are only looking at applications from eligible businesses and can approve the funds faster. If you're not eligible for this program, you will not proceed to the application and you will see a message that reads, "No programs available." If you see that screen and should be eligible, you will need to close your browser, start a new browser session, and go to the application and complete the eligibility questions again. So this video only shows the case where the applicant needs to upload the third-party applicant agreement. If they have an existing agreement that includes signatures and fees, they can upload that. In case the applicant is the business owner, they simply mark yes and click mark as complete to move to the application. Now, before you can proceed to the application, the second pre-application section, you must complete details with the third-party authorization. If you are completing the application yourself, you will need to confirm that you are completing the application and will proceed to the application. If someone is completing the application for you, you must complete this form with the fields completed and signatures, or you may submit a written agreement with this information, including the name of the third party, any fees that are charged, and signatures. The reason we require this is to help encourage applicants to work with reputable providers who provide a valuable service at a reasonable fee. If you have this form in your handouts, and you can also download it from the application site from within the application guide and from within the application portal. Now, as a grant applicant, your goal is to maximize the award amount. That means that you should start with your largest expenses first. You only need to provide enough documentation for expenses equal to the amount that you're requesting, not all your expenses. So we recommend you check the places that typically incur the greatest expense for small businesses. The first, since that's how you most likely are to maximize your grant award. Things like owner's compensation and payroll, or rent and mortgage, those are usually the highest costing expenses. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we get the grant monies out as soon as possible. Preferred documents for proof of existence are your 2021 federal tax filing, a T40 Schedule C, or Form 1120 or Form 1065, and your Davidson County business license or the state of Tennessee business registration or certificate of existence. Preferred proof of expenses are your 2021 federal tax filing, the 1040 Schedule C, or Form 1120 or Form 1065. Other documents that can be used are for the covered period of March 1st through March 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2022, are payroll records, individual receipts, a copy of a lease agreement, rent or mortgage payment statements, or bank statements. Preferred documents for proof of revenue are your 2021 federal tax filing, the 1040C, Schedule C, or the Form 1120 or 1065. Other documents that can prove expenses are your 2021 State of Tennessee Franchise and Excise Tax Form, an internally prepared financial statement such as an income statement generated by QuickBooks or other bookkeeping software, statements exported from PayPal, Venmo, Cash Apps, or other payment, delivery, and service apps. Eligible small businesses will apply through Pathway Lending's website, pathwaylending.org. There will be separate applications and processes for grants and loan programs. Loan amounts will be based on a business's 2021 annual revenue and other measures of its ability to make monthly loan payments and to repay the loan, including the credit score. Rates and terms are greater, the fixed rate of 2% interest, monthly payments for 5 years or 60 months, or so if you had a $10,000 loan for 60 months, it's $175.28. Those are the payments. Now, there are closing costs. A flat rate that is a minimum of $350 or a 1.5 loan amount covers the cost related to the closing. Now, the borrower can pay via ACH at closing or deduct from the loan amount before getting remaining funds. Proof of existence would be you have to be prior to September 30th of 2019. State or federal tax return for 2021, or business license or Secretary of State certificate of existence. Reasons a business may not qualify are the business doesn't meet the basic program eligibility criteria, including time in business, credit score, or the ability to provide required documents. For the credit score, a number of online resources offer free credit reports, such as annualcreditreport.com. The disbursement timeline. So, approved borrowers can expect a period of 10 to 14 business days to close and fund loans, provided they have finished all the required or requested documentation to Pathway Lending. I've never borrowed a loan for my business before. What should I keep in mind? Well, borrowing funds can offer a growing small business significant benefits, from smoothing cash flow or enabling equipment purchases that add capacity to investing in real estate or adding technology to streamline operations. With those benefits, borrowers should expect monthly loan payments and other costs, and the loan application process will require becoming familiar with the financial aspects of your business, as well as why and how the business can use a loan. Knowing why you want a loan and how you're going to spend it will help you to determine the monthly payment and loan costs are worth it to the business. We recommend first-time borrowers start by reading the other FAQs and eligibility requirements in this section and checking their credit scores. We also recommend estimating the monthly payment, total interest, and total loan cost at 2% fixed interest for 5 years, with the higher of $350 or 1.5% of the loan amount due at closing. You'll see specific amounts for the example of a $100,000 or a $10,000 loan above. We also recommend borrowers estimate how much they'll need by compiling estimates, for example, and determine how much they can afford. Attending an information session will show applicants a brief tutorial and template that show how to project impact of monthly loan payments on a cash flow and revenue. Now, finally, prospective borrowers can connect with a nonprofit technical assistance partner contracted by Metro by visiting the program information website at pathwaylending.org/Nashville. They can also read profiles describing how other small businesses have used loans from Pathway Lending at pathwaylending.org. We encourage applicants to complete the application on their own. Applicants who are unable to do so or who need translation services may seek help from a nonprofit technical assistance partner contracted by Metro. These partners are listed on the program information website. So we will need your business information. So we need like your contact details, business background, primary products and services, your date established. We'd like to know if you're a woman, a veteran owned, or conducted online, or if it was conducted online. We need to get you to export your state information, date management, established, minority owned, home based business, 8 certified, part time, full time staff, and detailed business description. Business information, contact details. We would need to know your business background, the primary products and services, the date you were established, if it's a woman or veteran owned, if it was conducted online, exporting, state of formation, date management established, if it's minority owned, a home-based business, 8A certified, the number of part-time and full-time staff, and a detailed business description. The personal information we'll need is your first and last name, your social security number or identifying number, your birthday, phone number, email address, your regular address. We also would need to know your gender, race, ethnicity, if you're a veteran, what your role in the company is, who your employer is, the answer to the U.S. citizenship question, or if you're a lawful permanent resident, or your residential status. Now, for a loan, the loan information we'll need are your loan amount, what your product is, the loan purpose, and your term. We will also need you to describe the use of the loan proceeds. We would need to know the borrower's name, if there's a guarantor, a co-borrower, the number of jobs created, the number of jobs retained, or the project address. So for a loan, we will need to get some collateral information. So we want a detailed description, the collateral owner, the type, the value, and any loans against the selected collateral. Pause. As far as a description of the collateral, we will need the information, like if it's equipment, we will need the description, serial number, and purchase date. If you would like to use a vehicle as the collateral, we would need to know the VIN, year, make, model, and body style, and any other additional info. We would also need your contact information. So we would want to have your first and last name, a good email and phone number, and how the contact relates to the company, your title, your role, and the name of the company. Documents required. Now, this is the heart of the application and represents most of the work that goes into a loan application, and where nonprofit partners can help with technical assistance. So we need to know if you're a Davidson County business, we need to have that license, the proof of business existence on or before September 30th of 2019, business revenue for the fiscal year ending on or before 12/31/21, your state of Tennessee business registration or certificate of existence, your 2020 and 2021 tax returns, 1040 Schedule C or Federal Small Business Tax Return Forms 1120 or 1065. You will need your personal financial statement listing all the assets and liabilities, a debt schedule for the business, unexpired government-issued identification with residential address and photograph, such as a driver's license or passport, a voided business checking bank account or bank check, your articles of incorporation, and a third-party authorization form. So let me tell you a little bit of something about Pathway Lending. Pathway Lending is a major nonprofit CDFI lender with 153.6 million in loans outstanding and 70 partners who invest in our mission. Pathway has 20 plus years in helping entrepreneurs of all stages and industries grow, succeed, and access capital throughout Nashville and all across Tennessee. If you have any questions, please visit Nashville at pathwaylending.org. Now, have a great day.